First of all, tell us what we're doing here at Adelaide Oval today.
Pretty special event here at Adelaide Oval. So we've got 50 schools which our community arm of our football club runs. So Power Community Limited delivers respectful relationships programs for young women in schools across 50 different schools throughout the broader area of Adelaide. So yeah, it's been really nice to interact and speak with some young women who hopefully have some really bright futures ahead.
Does it hit home when you do stuff like this, what the AFLW has done?
Yeah, obviously having a 10-year career as a teacher as well, coming to days like this and watching the students and the teachers interact in a space that's not a classroom and hopefully adding real value for them is, it's a real privilege to be in the position that we're in, to be able to hopefully generate some positivity for different ranges of people that might be going through, some tough times.
It's been a pretty hectic week. How are you coping, and how's the team coping going into what's going to be one of the biggest games in the club's history?
We're so excited for Saturday. I think it has certainly been a big week. We played at 5 o'clock in Melbourne on Sunday night and came back to Adelaide Monday morning, and it's been go since. And the vibe around the group is always a really positive one, and I think having Erin's retirement announcement this week and rolling into a Saturday afternoon final game at Alberton at 2:30 is genuine excitement amongst our group, and we're really looking forward to training tonight.
How important is it, considering how big of a figure she is for the AFLW, for her to finish her career off with a win?
We're doing absolutely everything that we can, like we do every week, to search for a win, and certainly to send Erin out in the right way is a huge driver for us this week, and it's created an additional level of excitement.
What's it been like this week when it's the last of everything for her? How's she coping? I know she obviously only a couple of tears during a retirement presser. How's she managed it?
Erin's one of the more resilient athletes you'll ever meet. So I think obviously Tuesday was a really big day with the press conference and announcements and huge amount of commitments for Erin in the last couple of days, and now I think we just make sure that we allow her to focus on the footy on Saturday afternoon and know that there's huge support and huge love for her beyond our football club and certainly within the team to make these last few days really as enjoyable as they can be, and acknowledge the emotion of it too. It's it's certainly been an emotional build up, and you use that to add fuel to the fire if there's anyone that possibly needs that. Just use the emotion as a positive this week.
Is this the most important dead rubber that there's ever going to be?
We treat every game as valuable as the next, and you certainly, as I said, we want to send Erin out in the right way on Saturday.
She joked on stage about that if you guys win, that you have to call the little one Erin. Is that something you're going to do?
It's classic Flip to drop that in front of a room of a couple of hundred people that I'll do that. Let's play Saturday first, hey?
What does next season look like for you? Are you going to be able to come back at the start of pre-season?
We actually don't have pre-season dates yet, so I'm working off a due date, and certainly there's big elements of myself that are pretty stubborn and bullish about what can be done. So I have every intention of coaching next year.
Of course, on the ground this season hasn't been the best year. What do you think has gone wrong, particularly in the last month? I know there's been a few times where you've criticised sort of effort and stuff like that. I think there's been one or two times where you've mentioned that maybe the standard hasn't been up to what you'd like. What do you think has gone wrong in the past month in particular?
I think there's a range of learnings that we have to take, and there's been crucial moments in games where, for 3.5 quarters, you've done everything you can to earn a win. And then there's these really crucial moments in late in quarters and late in particularly the Suns game where the lack of focus and application to what we know is required has let us down. So you take learning from that, but you also take confidence from that Suns game, as much as it still drives me nuts thinking about it, and it will for a long time. And it burns for our whole group, is that team's 6th on the ladder and I think could finish top 4, the Suns, is my understanding. And so when you're in the position that we're in and you you actually do everything you can against a team like that to win a game, outside of closing out those last couple of minutes, and you have a draw against the sixth place team at the time. You actually have to take a lot of belief from that. So that has to be the focus from us, and also at the same time learning what you need to as quickly as you can.
What needs to be done before next season to make sure this side is more competitive?
Yeah, look, I think there's going to be some natural growth in having a second off season for our group. There's a huge spectrum of our players that have only had one genuine off season, and in AFLW, when you play 10 games of footy, if you're in the team for 10 games, you have to maximise what is really a 6-month spell away from the club, and really maximise the off-season programs that you have. And so there's a big focus on that, and then there'll be natural evolution of list management, which will come over the next month and a half. So there's a draft December 18, which is very close to Christmas and very close to a due date for myself. But there'll be natural turnover of lists that happens at every football team, and then there'll be some progression where we'll ask our players to really apply themselves to an absolute standard going into our second off season.
Do you think for a third season the pressure goes up a bit given the lack of wins in the first 2 years?
Right now I'm very concerned with Saturday, and that's my focus.
And on Saturday, how does the club plan to honour Aaron?
Look, my focus is coaching right now, and I have no doubt the club's putting lots of pieces in place to make sure that Saturday afternoon is the right way to celebrate Aaron Phillips' career. And my focus as a coach is to do everything that we can to make sure that that's doing it in the right way, and hopefully sending her out with a win against GWS.
I know you got asked on Tuesday about if anything should be named after Aaron, and I think he was sort of thinking this a bit too soon. There's been a bit more discourse around that in the days following. Have you any extra thoughts on that, on if that would be the right thing to do?
I think for me, it's, as I said on Tuesday, it makes a lot of sense. But I also think that the time that the competition has to exist for those things to occur, is well beyond my role. And all I will say on that is that it makes absolute sense at this point. And again, the main focus and the conversation I'd like to be having right now is Saturday afternoon at Alberton at 2:30.